Okay. Hi, it's again 3style4life. We're today together with Günther, Australia, New South Wales, Ballina, and yeah, Günther, if I could ask you short questions like about surf. Why are you here? Why do you make surfboards like you're in your factory? And how did surfing change your life and how it changes it all the time?
Yeah. I was born in Vienna in Austria, and my parents brought me to South Africa when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And I lived there for 16 years and started surfing. We were there when I was about 10. And by the time I was about 18, 19 years old, we started making our own boards. And
there in South Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
And I came over here and I was going to work my way around the world, but I got stuck in Australia at my first port of call. I emigrated over here, and in those days this was very easy because they were asking for people to come here and live and work. And I got in the board industry over here. I met my wife a year and a half after I arrived here.
So
and I ended up, I met her up here on the north coast. I went to Noosa first, stayed there with my South African friends. Some of them I grew up with in Cape Town.
It's Sunshine Coast, yeah, Noosa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stayed there for 4 months, but I didn't like the surf that much. When you're from Cape Town, it's very different in Noosa. And I thought, coming down here, there's a big board industry starting in Byron Bay. It was the start of it in 1974. And I moved down here where...
McTavish Company, yeah? The Mad Dog, as I saw?
Yeah. I worked for someone called Warren Cornish, who was looking after Bob McTavish's label at the time.
Oh.
And my first job was in Brookvale, finish coating and pin lining, and I slowly got into shaping properly. I got into it in South Africa, but the boards were looking like shit. So,
this is all the beginnings.
Yeah, and eventually I worked with someone in Ballina. After I worked in Byron Bay for someone called John McKeag, who made sold surfboards, and started doing the whole thing from start to finish. Some of it was pretty bad, but it kept getting better, and eventually I was just shaping boards for the person who took over the industry in Ballina. When John wasn't interested anymore, I went and started working for someone who was making boards under a different name. Now called it Free Flight, after the company in South Africa that sponsored me for a while before I came over.
So you have also been a competitor, like in surfing. Okay.
Yeah, with limited success.
No, but still, it's always the feel.
You have to surfing. There's a lot of strategy involved, and I wasn't the best at that.
Soul surfer more than a competitor, you mean?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I had a few results. I had a few trophies. But anyway, so I worked at Free Flight for about 3.5 years, when my wife and myself decided to visit my parents who'd moved to England in that time, and we went through Bali. Surfed there in 1978, which was very different to now. You had to find people to go surf the Ulus with you. It was a good experience. Surf Padang Padang. And I met up with a few people that were starting Quicksilver in California. And one of them was a friend of mine, one of the partners, and from South Africa, and I ended up shaping boards for Jeff McCoy in the States, and worked for Big James and Herbie Fletcher. Yes, they gave me a start. They mentioned me, and Jeff having worked for Jeff, the first job I had in Australia in Brookvale, pinlining and finish coating for him, he agreed to it, and yeah, I worked in California. I was there
in several years.
No, I was there for 8-9 months. My dream was to go to Hawaii, which I did.
Probably like
So,
every surfer's dream to go
Mecca
there.
at the time. Now, people don't even bother about Hawaii anymore. They go to Indonesia a lot before they even think about Hawaii. In those days, it was Hawaii. The reason I came to Australia was because before Indonesia, South Africa was the go-to place. And I met a lot of Californians, Hawaiians and Australians, and told me about the place, and I thought Australia and the waves would be a better first port of call than California, I thought. And I think I was right. I don't want to be disrespectful to Californians, but I think all up, Australia gets really good surf. It's a big country.
It is.
So, yeah, I went to Hawaii in September 1979, stayed there for 4 months, started working for lightning bolt shaping and again finish coating and pinlining, and came back here. And I worked over here back at Free Flight, and I got a job at Brothers Nielsen, worked for them.
So like each surfer you were like moving,
Yeah.
you couldn't stay too long in one place or one company?
No, when I came back here, well, it wasn't a case of me not wanting to stay there. It's about having the work.
I can understand that.
Free Flight had Phil working there, who was learning to shape while I was there, and Cole Smith was there with them doing 6, 8 and 10 channel boards, and that's how Free Flight was geared, to channels. So I thought, better get a job somewhere else, and which I did. I worked on the Gold Coast for 2 companies, came back here and worked for a group called Jet Surfboards. That lasted a year or 2. When Town and Country came along, a friend of mine from South Africa started Town and Country, got the license to do it in Australia, and I had a job there for 9 years.
Oh,
In that time I went back to South Africa and worked for 3 months on the south coast, which was good to go back to and see old friends and whatever.
some Port Elizabeth, this south coast, or
Durban,
Durban.
Port Elizabeth, I knew quite a few people, stayed at JA for a while.
alright.
Yeah.
So
Got
you have
friends
seen
in Port
several-
Elizabeth, but most of my deep friends are from Cape Town, because that's where I'm from.
Ah, yeah.
I'm from Cape Town. And I was there for 9 years, and then I was going to go out on my own.
So it's lots of stories, and maybe just also to ask you shortly, surfing, how it has changed your life. Like, if not surfing, would it be very different, your life?
Yeah, most probably. I wanted to be a pilot, but in South Africa, you had to be in the permanent force for 5 years before you could become a commercial pilot. You had to be in the Air Force, and that didn't agree with me. And I thought about doing law, and that's 7 years, and I hated school so much, I thought that wouldn't work. So I went and worked in the bank for a year, Barclays Bank, and that didn't work too well. I resigned and worked for the Cape Town City Council at the fruit and vegetable market, wholesaling. Fruit, that's what the fruit and vegetable market is in Cape Town. It's hot. It's where the growers bring their produce and the wholesalers buy it to sell it to shops and stuff. And I worked there for 8 months, something like that. And saved money, sold my record collection in Cape Town. All right, mate. Check in,
And you were off.
yeah, and that's how it started. And
And right now, your passion about, is it like still like seeing your whole place? This is what also attracted me here. And how are you now with surfing? Still surfing?
Yeah, not at the moment. Going through a broken ankle.
Happens.
Not very good. But yeah, hope to be back into it in a month.
This is what I wish you, definitely.
So yeah, but it's a very difficult business. After I started my own business in '92, well, we were flavour of the month. I shaped a lot of boards for world champions and good pros that were travelling to Australia for the contests, and started my own business and continued it. And our business has put 10 people on the tour. Over the years, since '92, we've put 10 people on the CT, which is now the WSL, and shaped boards for the best, I guess. But
and you still
it's
enjoy
changed.
it? Is it like something that never changes? That sometimes, of course, you need some time, but to rest or something. But surfing is your life, but also like shaping makes you.
I love shaping. Hate the business. The surf business in Australia is a very difficult business, and if you don't have the best, it's changed. You know, the big companies now they corner every good surfer they can. They give them 100 boards a year, which seems to be rule of thumb, and it's very hard to break that one. We still sponsor people, but not to that degree anymore. Things change, and it changed for us, not for the better. You know, it seems everyone has their day, and over here it's more difficult to maintain than, for instance, in California. You know, it's just a different mindset. Yeah, I don't know. Memories seem a bit short, you know, but there's enough there to keep the business going, you know. And
it's very good, and actually, like knowing this all, like hearing all the stories from you, what I could wish you, like slowly finishing that. You'll be good with your ankle, you'll be good with your business, and you will still enjoy the
starts going better, everything improves, because 2015 was a very bad year.
So hopefully 2016, like we are right now, 11th of January, and Ballina is good, summer is back here in Australia, finally some sun, some warm days.
Good surf.
And yeah, this is actually all what we could wish for us surfers, right? So Günther.
Good health and
luck. And luck and smile and love.
Lots of surf.
Yeah.
That's what the essence is. You
That's
can't
it.
take money with you when you die. So you've got to have a good time.
Wishing you that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And take care.
Okay.
Aloha. 3style4life.